In our previous video, we learnt about Node. But if you try to understand why Node became very popular, one of the element is NPM. So in this video, we will try to understand what is NPM, how can we use it, and how it makes our life as a developer easier. So NPM stands for Node Package Manager. You can think about like NPM is two things. What does it mean is, NPM is a place where any developer can publish any kind of packages. You must be thinking, what is package? Say for example, in normal life, so we as a developer solve a lot of problems. If some of the problem from there is very generic, a lot of other developers in the world may be facing the similar problems. So what you can do as a developer, you can create the solution and publish it to this online collection. So anybody in the world who is going through the same problem can just use your package and make their life easier. So the first thing about NPM is it provides a place where people can publish the packages. And the second thing is a command line tool that we are going to explore in some time. Let's take a look at one of the example packages. So one of the very popular packages is known as Lodash. Lodash is a utility library using which interacting with array, manipulating array, object, strings, and a lot of other things becomes a lot more easier. So if you take a look, like if you want to use Lodash that comes with a lot of functionality, you just have to do npm I Lodash. It means that you want to install the Lodash package that is at the npm.js.com. So npm.js.com is the place where when you publish any of the package, it will be displayed here. And whenever you want to use it, you can use CLI to use that. So here if you look at the stat, you can see that the weekly download of Lodash is around 42 million. You can see how many people are actually using it. And there are many other packages that we will be using throughout the journey of learning about full stack web development. And while doing so, NPM will be making your life a lot more easier. So before going forward, let's just try to go ahead and try to understand how we can use NPM here. So whenever you install Node on your system, it always comes with NPM. So when you say node-v, it gives you the Node version you're using. At the same time, if you do npm-v, it will also give you the version of NPM that you're using. So NPM is the default package manager for Node and it comes with Node. Now the point is, the package is present at npm.js.com. How can I use it? So to use it, we will be using npm CLI tool. So what is CLI? CLI is command line interface. So you can interact using command line with this website, taking packages from here, publishing packages here, etc. So to do that, the first thing you need to do is say npm init. What it means is you are initializing this folder with npm. As soon as you press enter, it will start asking you some questions. It's saying like, what is the name of the package? Is it npm? So it is coming from the folder name. You can press enter. The version defaults to 1.0.0 and just let it be like this. If you want to write some description, that is okay. Otherwise, just press enter. Entry is index.js, press enter. And if you just keep pressing enter at the end, it will create a file named Package.json, and that you will be able to see it here. So just because you initialize this folder with npm, you will have a Package.json file. And this is the file that is going to contain all the information about the different packages you are using. So now I want to use Lodash, say for example. So how can I use it? And here it says that to install this, you just have to use npm I Lodash. So we can press enter, and as soon as you do that, it will install a package right here, and you can see that it is using a dependency. And after installing that, when you look at the package.json file, you will see that it is using a dependency of Lodash, and the version of Lodash we are using is 4.17.20. And you will also have a node modules folder. And node modules folder will contain all the files that there is in Lodash. One important thing to notice is your node modules folder is going to be huge in future So the way we deal with that is we create a Gitignore file and we keep node modules in that. So we don't push node modules on Git. The reason we don't have to push node module on Git is because even if you don't have node module, you can install it by just running one command. So I'll just go ahead, delete this node module folder. And now we don't have node module. So what you can do to get those packages, all you need to do is say npm install. So what it will do, it will go on to package.json. It will look at all the dependencies that you have and it will install those packages for you at the same time. So you don't have to put these things on GitHub. You can just download the repo and using npm install, you can install it. And here you can see, because we used npm install again, you have your node modules folder here. So in this way, if you take a look at our package.json, you'll get to understand that we have already installed Lodash package. And it is coming from the online repository of NPM on the website npmjs.com. It contains all the packages that any developer in the world wants to publish. Now, we have installed it. How can we use it? So to use that, first thing we need to do is to create a file. So we'll create index.js file. And how can we get access to the package here? So we'll say const lodash. And where is it coming from? It is coming from node modules folder. Inside node modules folder, we have Lodash folder. And that contains all the methods that we need. But to access that in any JavaScript file, we use the keyword require. And whenever you say require, it will require the package from node modules. So which package do you want to require? You want to require Lodash. So we'll say Lodash, save it, and doing this, we got access to the Lodash package. Now let's go ahead and use any of the method coming from Lodash. So for that, I'm going to open this website of Lodash, that is lodash.com. And here you can see when we click on documentation, the first method we have access to is chunk. And what it does is creates an array of elements split into group of length of size. So it accepts an array and the length, and based on the length, it's going to return an array of arrays. So that is what we are going to use. So let us go ahead, create an array that is going to have a value of ABCD. So we'll say let characters is going to be ABCD. And now we are going to use the method chunk. How can we use it? So we'll say Lodash dot, we'll use the method chunk. Chunk accepts two parameters. One is characters and second is the size. So let's pass the size of 2. And whatever coming back, let's store it into chunk. And using console log, we can just log it. So we'll say console.log chunk. So in this way, we are using the package that we installed earlier, that was Lodash. And one of the method is chunk. But how can we execute it? So whenever you want to execute this thing, we will have to use Node to execute it, because we are executing it on the terminal. We are not executing it in the browser. So whenever you want to execute in the terminal, the way to do that is by using Node. We are in the folder npm. If you say pwd, it will give you the location where your folder exists. Now what you can do using Node, so now you have to execute the index.js file using Node. So we'll say index.js, press enter. What do you see here? Because of this console log, we are able to see this message that has array of arrays, and it also has A, B, C, D. So similarly, if you want to use something else, like let's just use something like difference. I want to see the difference between 2.1 and 2.3. So I'll just copy this from here and we'll say console log, and here we are just going to say difference, and difference is coming from Lodash dot difference. And we are just trying to understand the difference between 2.1 and 2.3. After doing this, we'll go ahead and execute it again. So we'll say node index.js. And here we will see an array with a value of 1. So what difference does, it creates an array of arrays value that is not included in the other array. So here in the second one, we have 2. So that's why 2 is not included, but 1, there is no 1 in the second one. So that's why we got 1 here. So now we are able to use the external packages using NPM. And it is working for us. But I see there is a problem. The problem is, Every time you want to see the changes that you have created, you have to use node index.js and you have to keep doing that by yourself. And that is not very convenient. So for that, what we are going to do, we are going to use one of the another packages that is created by somebody in the world who is trying to solve a problem, and we can just use that package. So another package that can help us here is known as Parcel. And Parcel is a bundler. What is a bundler is it will bundle multiple kind of data into one file. Don't worry, once you see it in action, you'll understand the use case of it. So to click on get started, it will tell you how to get started with that. So first thing it is asking you to do is to install this package in your project. So for that, what we will do, we'll say npm install and we'll write the name of the package, that is Parcel Bundler. We'll press enter. By the time it is installing, we'll go ahead and do the next thing. So here it also wants us to create an index.html file because I want to look at the output here, right? So let's do it from here. We'll create a new file, index.html. And inside that, we are just going to create the basic structure of HTML. And here we'll just write npm and we'll link our JavaScript file. To link it, we'll say script src and it is going to link index.js. So now the Parcel bundler is installed. And now next what we are going to do is we are going to use the package.json file to automate a lot of process that we have. So here in the package.json, we have added a script named start and it points to parcel index.html. So what I want to do, I want to create a bundle of index.html. And that is what they are saying it here, right? They're saying whenever you want to create a bundle, use parcel and the name of the file, that is index.html. What is script inside package.json is it is like a proxy. So what you have to do, you don't want to go and type parcel index.html multiple times. So what you can do, you can just give it a pseudonym of start. And whenever in future you want to run parcel index.html, you can just say npm run start. So that is what we are going to do now. We'll say npm run start. What npm run will do, npm will go inside package.json, and because you want to run a script, it will go inside script and it will run whatever you're asking it to run. You're asking them to run start. So start will run and it will execute parcel index.html. So as soon as I'll press enter, look at this, what happens. It is executing parcel index.html. As soon as this will be executed, you'll see that it will create a cache and dist file, but we don't have to care about any of that. I'll just copy this and open it in the new tab. As soon as you do that, let's open console. So what you see is, so the value that we were getting earlier in the terminal, we are able to get that in the browser. So using bundler like Parcel, we were able to use external packages like Lodash and display it in the browser. How cool is that, right? So in this way, we got to learn about NPM. NPM is two things. The first is, it's an online repository where people can publish different JavaScript packages. And the second one is a CLI tool. What is CLI tool? Is all this that we are doing, npm init, npm install, npm run start, or something like that. So this comes inside CLI tool. So npm is an online repository and command line tool. And using command line tool, we can install packages from here and we can use it. And we also used a parcel bundler using which we were able to compile everything here, but display that in the browser right here. So in future, we are going to use a lot of packages from NPM that will make our life a lot more easier to create bigger applications.